Did you know that as a beginner you can make amazing cupcakes? Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're here for your first time, hello and welcome. I am Patience Kinga, creating content on cakes, pastries and everything in between. To all my returning subscribers, you are the real MVP. Oh, by the way, happy Easter in advance. I know you'll be receiving this video on Friday, on Good Friday. To all the Christians all around the world, I wish them a very solemn day. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how to make an easy vanilla cupcake. I'm also going to teach you how to decorate these cupcakes in advance for Easter. You can do this with your family, with your friends, so you can have an amazing cupcake to celebrate Easter with. But before we get there, please do not forget to like, to subscribe, to share, and to turn on the notification button so that when next I upload the video, you'll be the first to watch. But then, let's jump right in and get the cupcakes started. See you! Previously on this channel, we made the banana cake. Check the link above to watch how I made this cake. Now we are going to be making a vanilla cupcake.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's begin baking. Here I have an empty bowl that I'm going to be using to do all my mixtures. Here is a whisk, 3/4 cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of cream cheese, 1/2 cup of butter, 1/2 cup of milk, 2 eggs, a tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, my cupcake tins, and my cupcakes cups.
Let's begin the mixing. In the bowl that contains the flour, I'm going to put all the dry ingredients. And using a whisk, I just stir a little bit so it mixes. In the empty bowl, I put in the butter and the sugar and mix together. I'm going to do this mixing for about 8 minutes to get the right consistency. Do not forget to scrape the sides as you whisk along. Let's continue mixing. I'm going to add the vegetable oil and continue the mixing with the whisk. I also add the vanilla extract and I continue mixing. As I mix, I stop to scrape the sides as usual. This is how it looks like. Now I add the 2 eggs and mix just a little bit to make sure everything incorporates. Now I add the cream cheese and I continue to mix. I add the milk and I continue mixing as well. Now it's time for me to pour in the flour that contains the dry ingredients too into the mixing bowl. I continue to mix and this is how it looks like. Do not forget to scrape the sides to make sure everything gets in. Everything is in, but I feel like my consistency is still too thick. I was supposed to use melted butter originally, but because I forgot that part, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of milk to lighten the consistency. That is how it looks like After doing that, I scrape the bowl. At this point in time, I'm happy with what it looks like. Using an ice cream scoop, I'm going to put the batter in the cupcake tins. This recipe gives 24 cupcakes. So I am going to continue to fill the cupcake tins. Now I am done filling all 24. This is how it looks like. And I'm going to pop that in the oven. I baked these cupcakes for about 15 to 18 minutes. Now let's make our frosting. We are going to be using an American buttercream frosting, which calls for a cup of butter and 4 cups of icing sugar. I put them all in a mixing bowl. I mix this together for about 8 minutes. That is how it looks like while I'm mixing. Do not forget to stop to scrape the sides. I add a tablespoon of vanilla extract as well as 2 teaspoons of milk. I continue to mix. I stopped to check my consistency, but it was still a little bit light. I added some icing sugar. At this point, I am satisfied with the consistency. Now let's get to decorating the cupcakes. We will begin by making Easter bunny ears. Using white fondant, I roll to be thin, and using an eyedrop cutter, I make the shapes of the ears. I use 2 eyedrop cutters, a bigger one and a smaller one. Once I was able to cut out these ears, I put them on a spoon so it could give the curvy shape. Now I'm going to use the smaller cutter to roll out another set of ears. I stick the pink on the white. Once that is done, I set that aside to dry up. I also use the pink fondant to roll the nose, and I'm using the black fondant to roll the eyes. Once that is done, I set that aside too. In an icing bag, I put in a little bit of the frosting we made earlier. Using a round head piping tip, I just make a dome on a cupcake. The reason for doing this is because I just want to create a mountain kind of a feeling. That way when I assemble everything, it's going to come out like the head of an Easter bunny. Now I'm using coconuts to dap the cupcake on top of it. This is just to give the furry feeling of an Easter bunny. If you're not comfortable turning the cupcake upside down, you can as well just take the coconut flakes and pour on top of the cupcake. Once that is done, I set that aside. Now let's assemble the Easter bunny. I put the ears, I put the nose, I wet the nose with water because this is sugar, so it's gonna stick. Now I put the eyes after wetting it with water too, so it can stick. Isn't that cute? I do the same thing for the rest of the 2 cupcakes. Man, that eye is refusing to stick. Isn't that funny? Oh, very cute Easter bunnies. Now I am done with the Easter bunnies. Let's go to the next cupcakes. On the next set of cupcakes, we will be decorating Easter chicks. Using the frosting we did earlier, I colored it green, and using either a grass piping or a regular rosette piping tip, you can make a grass effect. So I'm going to be making a grass effect on these cupcakes using the green frosting. Once done, I set that aside and on to the next cupcakes. On 3 more cupcakes, I am going to be making a base using the white frosting, a circular base, and using a leaf tip, I'm going to be making leaves for our sunflower. Earlier on, I colored the white frosting to be yellow to make the sunflower leaves. Once I'm done piping the leaves of the sunflower, I used chocolate that I had earlier crushed to create the center of the sunflower. After doing that, I used a smaller leaf tip using the green frosting to be able to produce green leaves. Let's continue with our Easter chicks. On the grass, I used a regular rosette tip to be able to create a nest using brown frosting. I just colored the white frosting to brown. Next, we are going to be decorating Easter bunny butt. To do this, I am going to use the green frosting to be able to produce a grass effect too, using a grass piping tip or a regular rosette piping tip. Once I get the grass effect, I set that aside. Next, we are going to be decorating carrot cupcake. So I'm going to use the white frosting to create something like a base on the cupcake. Once that is done, I use an orange frosting with a regular piping tip, just a regular hole, to create a carrot effect. I start piping slowly and towards the end, I drag it to produce a sharp tip of a carrot. Once that is done, I use the green frosting to create the leaves at the bottom. Now let's complete our Easter chick cupcake. I have a duckling mold. I'm going to be using a yellow fondant to mold out these ducks. You can as well make your own duckling, and it's so easy. Just make it round and put black eyes and a beak, and that is it. Once that is done, I put them together and I stick on the nest. I had some little chicks that I bought from Walmart. I'm just going to put them below the duck, which looks like the duck has its chicks. Next, I took all the frostings, the colored frostings I had made earlier, I put them together to create regular decorations. Regular roses, regular stars on 3 different cupcakes to just give a different effect. I also had some Easter bunnies that I bought from Walmart too. I just stick them on the regular cupcakes I made, the ones with just normal roses, normal stars. I had a little bit of green frosting in the bag that had the green leaf piping, so I just used that to create some leafy effect on the roses. I also just used a brown frosting to just create regular roses using a regular rosette tip. This was just adding to the variety. I love a variety of cupcakes with different decorations. Let's complete the Easter bunny butt decoration. If you've watched till this point, please comment in the comment section bunny butt, and hey, I have some helpers who are here to help and they say hi. So I took white fondant and I created a dome, kind of a butt kind of shape. I set that aside, and using the back end of the piping tip, I created circles. I rolled the circles a little bit to create an oblong shape for the feet of the bunny. And earlier also took some fondant and created just circles to be used as a sharp point of the bunny butt or the tail. Once I was satisfied with how it looked like, I set that aside. Using a pink fondant, I created the paws of the feet. After rolling the fondant, I used the smaller end of a piping tip to create small circles. After doing that, I took a little bit of pink fondant and placed it on the feet. I pressed it down to create the bigger paws. And I used the earlier smaller paws and I put them on the feet and they look like the toes. I did this for all of them. Now I'm just placing everything on the feet to finish decorating the bunny butt. Please do not forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and to turn on your notification button to be the first to watch each time I upload a video. In the comment section, tell me how you feel about the cupcakes and which decorating method you will be using to decorate your cupcakes for Easter. It was quite fun decorating these cupcakes, putting everything together to produce beautiful results, and I believe you can do same. It's not that hard. I am now done. I just need to put everything together. I put the butt, I put the feet. Oh, I used sugar and I took the tip of the butt and I rolled on the sugar. This was just to give a sparkling effect on the butt. So I placed some water on the place I intend to stick whatever before sticking to make sure it gets glued together. Now they are done. This is how they look. This is the final look of my cupcakes. Hope you like them. Please do not forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and see you next time. Bye.